Poch gets the better of Sarri, Liverpool stay unbeaten, and Dilly Dong is back. This is the Top Bins Premier League Turbo Review. I'm Mike, he's Dave, and this is the Top Bins Premier League Turbo Review. Dave's been a little over this week, so we're making sure we still give you that premium Top Bins content, but we're going to give it to you a little bit faster paced than that and a little bit higher tempo for this week. We want to make sure that we get something out to you, so we're going to cover off the highlights from last weekend, some of the top games, top action, and then we'll give you a turbo preview a little later on today as well to make sure that you get all of the good stuff for what's going to come up this weekend. So Dave, I'm going to pick a few games and we're just going to roll with it, mate.
I love it.
All right, let's start off. What I thought was probably the most entertaining game. We called it in the preview last week. Ranieri, Dilly Dong's back, mate. Fulham and Southampton, 3-2.
Great game, and I feel that it was more than just the new manager bounce for Fulham. I thought they just looked a lot better, even with only a few days with Ranieri. They just looked to have a bit more direction at the back, but certainly not lacking going forward. I mean, they scored 3 great goals, a couple of great goals from Southampton. Fabulous game to watch.
It was a great game to watch. I thought Armstrong was a shining light for Southampton, did the business. For them, got 2 goals. One of them was spectacular. The second one, great finish, great hit. That Fulham will be delighted that their boy Mitro's back. Back in the goals, couple of goals for him. He looked unplayable as well. He looked like a proper force.
Oh, when you're a new manager at a club that's in last position, to see, obviously you still let a couple of goals in, but like you say, Armstrong's goals weren't bad, were they? But to see your top talisman come back and score like he has been, back in the Premier League again, wow, you've got to be loving that. Mitro was good value. I hope you still got him in your fantasy team, mate.
I have, mate. I reaped the benefits of those points this week. And I thought a special little shout out to Ryan Sessegnon as well. I thought he was excellent. He had a great game, great goal, great move. He shifted it. Lovely early ball. Schürrle's got a tap in at the back stick. Yeah. That's a great bit of play from Sessegnon. Great result for Ranieri. First up, he'll be delighted.
He will be. Yep. Mark Hughes. Couple of questions. I mean, you got to ask, where's Armstrong been playing this well? Yeah. And he's got to be living on. And where's his
P45? That's the other question, Dave. Where's his P45?
He's
got to be gone. Horrible man. I'll be glad to see the back of him, mate.
That's right. You'll only grow stronger.
Right. That's it, mate. Look, all right, let's move on. London derby. Big shock. Tottenham beating Chelsea.
Yeah, big shock. Maybe the shock of the weekend for me, although hard to say that you didn't think Spurs could win it. But 3-1, certainly not. But the way that Spurs made Chelsea play has got to be worrying for Chelsea. But Spurs looked at their best. They looked fabulous. Some real great moments in that game. But the more worrying thing was just how bad some of the Chelsea players were.
They were awful.
Yeah, especially David Luiz, but he brought the whole defence down with him. Even my boy Rudiger didn't look good. Kepa didn't look good, but David Luiz was awful.
And Jorginho I thought could be put in that bracket as well. I thought he was terrible. I thought he had one of his worst games in the Chelsea shirt. Son absolutely skinned him when he got him isolated on that wing for that second goal, the third goal. Luiz's defending was horrible for that goal as well. Showed him inside instead of showing him on the outside and getting him to run down the touchline. I thought Spurs were good value. The press was good. Eriksen was back from injury. Looked great. Looked lively. Looked back to his best. And then he went and scored midweek against Inter as well in the Champions League. Top quality player. They'll be delighted to have him back because they don't have depth in their squad, Spurs. So having players like that back from injury is massive. Yeah. And I thought Poch got it tactically spot on and completely outdid Sarri in that regard.
Yeah, I think that's bang on. I think that's the best I've seen Spurs press this season. And I thought Poch got his tactics bang on, whereas Sarri got his just so wrong. Nothing Chelsea did was good. Just a flush, chuck it and flush the dunny and move on type game for Chelsea because there's nothing really good to take from that at all.
Nah, they're going to be very disappointed with that loss. And Tottenham, like I said, they've scraped the results in a few other games playing poorly, but they played well against Chelsea, and they're looking a threat for top four this season now. That start stamping their authority on that. All right, let's move over to your boys, Dave. We've got Watford and Liverpool. It says 3-0 on the score sheet. It was a little bit tighter than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I feel for Watford. I feel they could have had a couple of goals with the offside call and a potential penalty there from Robbo, but I still think Liverpool edged this game. First half was anyone's, probably more Watford's.
Yeah.
But Bobby Firmino in the second half really stood up better than he has all season and said, I'll get us this win, boys. And yeah, he really turned up the volume. It was good to see.
I thought red card was definitely a red card, mate. Two silly challenges.
Oh, Hendo was awful. The second challenge was just horrible, but he had this anger about the way he was playing, like he was not happy. And yeah, it was a perfect Hendo haters game. Everything that everyone says he does that's horrible, he did this game, and yeah, he didn't do himself any favours at all.
Nah, he's not doing himself any favours for the England team as well, getting into the England team with performances like that, mate.
No.
Little bit of a shout out to Mo getting a goal in November, doing it again, keeping the goal scoring ticking over, and Alisson as well. I thought he made a couple of good saves for you.
Yeah, he did. And in the game against PSG, I think he was put under pressure a few times and came out looking pretty good. So yeah, he's still great goalkeeper.
All right, Dave. Well, look, next game I'm going to go to is the Bournemouth Arsenal game. I thought this one was one we called as being tight. We thought in the preview last week. You called it for a win for Bournemouth. I called it as a draw. I thought it was going to be. There's definitely upset on the cards, and they really should have been, shouldn't they?
Well, I mean, I look at this game and I think Bournemouth were very unlucky not to at least take a point, maybe win this game. On another day, they do. Arsenal weren't good going forward. Mkhitaryan probably maybe the worst game I've ever seen him play. He was just awful. And even Burnley didn't look good, and he's looked good all season. So yeah, it was an odd game for Arsenal. They did enough, but yeah, against some stronger teams, they lose this game all day.
Yeah, and I reckon that Bournemouth have been pretty unlucky in those games against big clubs when they've been playing at home. They played United, should have beaten them, at least got a draw. Arsenal, reckon they should have beaten them, should have at least got a draw, but dropped all 3 points in both of them. Unlucky. Lerma's own goal, cracking own goal, up there with Noel Whelan's. Proper own goal. If you're going to score one, do it like that, mate.
Oh, absolutely. It was an absolute stunner. But poor guy, it ruined his game because he was so. I mean, you look at him when Bournemouth score, he's going absolutely ape shit, and he just kind of lost his head a little bit because he was trying to put so much in after that. But yeah, felt for him.
All right, look, mate. Last game I'm picking out. I know you got a little shout out after this one. Last game I'm picking out though is Man City. You can't not talk about the City. They won 4-0. 4-0 doesn't really tell us the full story of the game. No, West Ham had chances, didn't they?
They did, and I think you did right. I think this really flattered Man City, as they had 4 or 5 good chances and they just took them all. And Pep was very angry because that was the case. And if you've watched All or Nothing at all, you see an angry Pep is not someone that you want in the dressing room. But but West Ham, with better finishing, they take a point out of this game. They had some really good chances in this game.
Yeah, I think I agreed though. I think with better finishing and a bit of better defending as well. They gave up some cheap goals to City. City did only have 4 or 5 chances in the game, and they buried them. They were clinical, and that's what top teams do. But at the same time, West Ham going forward, that's where you think there's probably their strength in their squad, and they really looked to be firing blanks in that game. And Arnautovic and Valbuena, they had chances in that game to really score and cause City a bit of trouble, but couldn't quite get it done. And City ended up looking, well, a scoreline at least, looking very comfortable.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't for City, and West Ham will be a little bit disappointed.
No, I agree, and at home as well. I think, you probably look at that, think, that's not fair.
All right, Dave, you said you were going to give a shout out to me before the show started.
I am.
Who's a shout out for, mate?
I'm going to give a Top Bins Turbo tip of the cap to your favourite Spanish waiter.
Love him.
Mr. Rafa Benitez and Newcastle for the 3rd win on the trot.
Yeah, I love it. Apparently, he makes a lovely paella as well, mate.
Oh, I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, I mean, but first and foremost, doing a great job at Newcastle with what he's got. They'll be absolutely buzzing with a win at Burnley. Tough place to go to, no matter what form Burnley are in. Turf Moor on a Monday night is not an easy place to go to. And Newcastle went there, got the job done, mate. Got a couple of goals early doors and saw the game out. And Rafa will be absolutely delighted with 3 wins on the trot.
That's it, and I think you nailed it. Like, they got the job done and then just made sure they didn't concede too many. Like, they scored the goals early and then they just held on, made sure, Vokes scored as well, but it didn't really matter in the end. I mean, obviously...
Good header from Vokes.
Me got the own goal, but that was coming with the pressure. And, yeah, great goal from Vokes. Chris Wood missed a couple of sitters. But, yeah, good on you, Newcastle. Good on you, Rafa, and pleased for you.
Yeah, well done, Rafa. All right, then, Dave, let's finish off the Turbo review with a quick roundup of all the other games. And we'll start off at Old Trafford. They'll be bitterly disappointed, United, that they drew at home against Palace. And actually, Palace will probably be bitterly disappointed. Poor old Roy. He looked like he was going to have nightmares that night of some of those misses. And Palace maybe should have got something out of that.
Yeah.
Huddersfield, absolutely cracking result at Molineux. Wolves will be gutted, but what a result for Huddersfield there, and they're accumulating points just at the right time. Brighton and Leicester played out a 1-1 draw. Our boy Glenn Murray, the most potent striker in Europe, he has gone and bagged another one, and Jamie Vardy, the striker that takes the most cocaine in Europe, buried a penalty. So seems like a fair result.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah, and then finally Everton, our Lord and Saviour Gylfi, it was the game changer, was the difference in that game, and he's gone on and buried one and won the game 1-0. Everton probably should have got a few more, to be honest.
He was good, yes.
Thanks, Dave. All right, look, this is our Turbo review. We've made sure that you got some Top Bins content down your gullets this week. If you've liked the video, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and spread the word to your friends. Go and check out all the banter on facebook.com/TopBinsFantasy, and we'll see you for the Premier League Turbo preview later on today. Cheers.
I say, walk like they talk like they know. Talking like they know. What do they know?